Hello, so as you've probably realised, Shape Session 3 is all about personality. And of course, dependent on your personality, you're either really enjoying this session or finding it very difficult. If you manage to ask somebody else to sort of give their sort of top 5 words they'd use to describe you, I wonder if you noticed any differences between what they see and how you see yourself. Often others are the ones who point out those real strengths in our personality, those real positives, whereas we can so easily focus on those things that we're not quite happy about. The other thing to notice is that personality really just expresses our preferences, which is important to be aware of because that helps to discern the ways in which we will be most effective in God using us. Some personalities have really found this time of lockdown a greater challenge because of that lack of being able to be with others, whereas other personalities, that time on their own has been helpful. And of course, most of us are somewhere in that range in between. But there is no perfect Christian personality, as I'm sure you are beginning to realise, and I hope so. And if you're not sure, then may I suggest that you have a look at the Bible. You'll find plenty of characters that God has used with a huge variety of personalities. Think about Abraham and Sarah, or Moses. Have a look at Esther, Ruth, David, and then in the New Testament, perhaps Mary, Peter and Paul. And maybe just spend a few moments thinking how you would describe their personality from what we discover about them in the Bible, and how God used them, and how sometimes their personality sort of tripped them up, got them into a bit of trouble, and at other times personality traits were really helpful assets. And I just want to underline here as well the difference between our personality and our preferences and our character. Because as Christians, we believe that God is in the business of growing our character. And later on in this session, if you're doing it in a group, you'll have a look at the fruits of the Spirit in Galatians 5. And you might want to have a look at that if you're following this on your own. So this journey of looking below the surface, as it were, of our personality helps us to be aware of our differences, to accept our differences, and I hope to appreciate our differences. And that's really important for us as church together. Sometimes it's helpful to think of us as an iceberg, that sort of top 10% of the iceberg above the water, which most people see. And then the bottom 90% below the water, which perhaps we're aware of some of that, which God is aware of all of it. And that's a really important encouragement as we look at this together in this session, because there's nothing below the surface about our personality, about anything to do with us, that God doesn't see, and yet God still loves us. So I think part of the journey is becoming more aware of our differences and our accepting who we are, and most of all, accepting that we're loved by God. So a reminder from 1 Corinthians 12, that the church needs everybody. And if the church is a body, then listen to what Paul says. If the whole body were an eye, how would you hear? Or if your whole body were an ear, how would you smell anything? But our bodies have many parts, and God has put each part just where he wants it. How strange your body would be if it had only one part. Yes, there are many parts, but only one body. The eye can never say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head can't say to the feet, I don't need you. All of you together are Christ's body, and each of you is part of it. So I hope you're going to really enjoy, if that is the right word, and as I said, it might be for some and not for others, exploring your personality and continuing to notice how you can encourage others. And just to say, at the end of the 5 weeks, when we finish Shape, so, I guess this will be after Easter, for those of you who would like a one-to-one conversation with me or with others that have agreed to be part of this, just to put together all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, if you like, from these 5 sessions, then do get in touch, and we'll be able to put that in the diary for after Easter. So have fun, and I'll see you soon.